And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Paulo Mori's Blitzkrieg, World War II in 20 minutes. Now, Paulo Mori, I have really enjoyed most of his games as over the career, but I have to say when I saw this one, World War II in 20 minutes, that always is like, we'll have to wait and see. But he does do good games. Also, the name Blitzkrieg, oh man, there's enough games called Blitzkrieg something or other. I would have named it something else but that. But hey, it certainly sounds interesting, and it has 20 minutes. Let's try it. Each of the two players gets a bag, and in that bag they're going to be putting tokens for their units. So they're going to be shuffling them. They're going to get a shield, and they're going to draw 3 of these units randomly and put them face up behind the screen so that you can see what those units are. And there's different kinds of units in this game. There are land units, air units, and sea units. And so here's some of the different types of units that might be in your thing. On your turn, you're going to be placing units in one of these 5 theaters. We got Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Africa and the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Ocean. Each of these has several campaigns, rows of different tokens in them. So when I place something in a row, so let's say on my turn I'm going to place a token. And this is a land unit here, a tank, and I can place it in any brown spot on the board. If it's a sea unit, I place it in any blue spot, and if it's an air unit, I can place it either. When you place a token down, the first thing you do, if there's something on that spot, you will do whatever that action is. Then you'll look at the number that you played. So for example, here I played a 3. I would move this 3 spaces towards my side. So if I'm the axis, I'm moving it this way. Once it's completely finished, so let's say I later on play this airplane here and move it one more this way, this campaign is finished. This whole row is finished. And you can play these in any order. I could have played this one first and then this one. Then whichever side this is on, that team will instantly get 2 points. If this line had been moved past this point or this one, you would get 1 or 2 victory points added to your total. And in fact, if you get it all the way to this side, this whole thing is finished and you get all the victory points that are here, plus any bonuses on those spots. So you don't want to just give up on one of the theaters and not try to stop your opponent. Once you've finished the campaign, then you can start placing in the next row. When that one's finished, you can start placing in that one. So what do the different spots on the board mean? Well, some of them have numbers in them. So actually, when I played this tank in this spot here, instead of moving 3, I would have moved it 4. So some of these, this adds 1, this adds 2, this adds 3. If you place it in these spots, you will instantly get victory points. So you're tempted to put them there. When you place it on a factory, at the end of every turn you draw a tile from the bag, but when you put it on a factory, you'll get an extra tile from your bag, so you have more choices to pick from. The opposite of that is when you put one on a bombing spot, you will discard one of your opponent's tokens. That gets thrown back in the bag, so they have fewer to pick from. And in fact, if at the beginning of your turn you have no tokens to pick from, you lose the game. Some tokens even have something similar on them. This airplane here has a lightning bolt on it. When you play that, you can play another token right away. You're blitzing, but again, you go down by fewer tokens. When you go into these spots here with technology, you're going to be able to draw 1 or more technology tiles. So you'll take a look, you'll draw one of these tiles, and these tiles can do all sorts of things. So for example, this is an aircraft carrier. It's a 2 strength, but it's also lets me bomb my opponent. And there's all sorts of things. This one's a really powerful airplane. It's 4, but it doesn't do whatever the spot is that you put it on top of. You don't get the special ability of that spot. There's even a nuke that gives you 7 in the theater that you played in, but you lose 2 in every other theater. And so that's the game. Players are going to be playing these, pulling tokens from their bag, and getting victory points. The first person to hit 25 victory points is the winner of the game. Unless it's the Axis player, in which case the Allied player has one final turn, because the Axis player always goes first, and then if they hit 25, they win. And if the Allied player hits 25 first, they just win the game automatically. That's it. The game comes with 2 bags, and I like them. I do wish that they were clearly, the Germans and the Allied players, because it would be a lot easier to go in there and pick them out. But, it's not that big of a deal. The tokens are fine. They're just little tokens. At least they use the same symbol for everything, so I know it's air, land, or sea. That's not a problem. And the board, it's really easy to see the difference between the blue and the brown. And while there's several symbols on the board, they're very easy to understand. Not to mention your shield does have all this. Although the shield itself I found to be kind of problematic, because when you put it on a table, because of the way it's folded, it leans up slightly off the table. Not a big deal. I just found it to be annoying. The game also comes with a die and some extra tokens to use if you want to play the game solo. Oh my, this game is fantastic. Now, it reminds me very much of another game I reviewed this year called Watergate, which was like a Twilight Struggle, but really, really melted down. This has that same feeling. It is I guess technically it's a bag builder, as you can throw some technology chips in your bag, but for the most part you're pulling chips from your bag. You pull chips, there's not that much. You have land chips, air chips, there's some generals and admirals that are like 1+, and then the plus is equal to the number of chips you already have in a region. But it's simple. Do I fight? You're thinking a couple things. Where do I want to fight? It says tug of war in the 5 different regions, back and forth. And then what do I want? Do I want to just go in the spots that give me victory points and try to push ahead in that regard? Or do I go in the spots that give me a lot of stuff? My opponent's about to win in that campaign. I got to go push back against him. Do I want to try to bomb the person in the submission? An economic victory, the designer says. And I like that that's there. Those Blitzkrieg, the little lightning bolt ones, you can play those and get more stuff out on the board quickly, but you're in danger because your opponent could bomb you and then you have no tiles and you lose. And this game is literally 20 minutes. Now, is it World War II? Yes! But it's the most abstracted World War II game you're going to find. It's really on a small lens here. In fact, they have a sequel to the game, or an expansion for the game called the Nippon expansion, where the Axis wins World War II. Japan is now holding the United States of America. Then Japan attacks Germany and has Godzilla. It's the same thing, except that the Japan has a Godzilla piece in here, and then there's a few more special abilities, and it's a completely different map and all. That's fine, but forgetting that expansion even exists, the actual game itself, just want to keep playing it and playing it and playing it. The Axis has a small advantage in going first, but because the Allies can win if you both get 25 points at the same time, that negates that. The units, I haven't actually laid out all the units to see how equal they are. The tech is tempting because you want to get these really cool tiles thrown into your bag that you then may never draw. Man, this game is good. It's tense, it's fast, there's lots of good decisions, it's easy to understand. You have to always think about every move your opponent's doing. You cannot let them win too much in one theater. In essence, it's like what I said about Watergate, where it's Twilight Struggle, but boiled down to a much faster game. Now, because it's faster, you're not going to see really deep strategies. I don't care, though. It's just fun to play. And you don't have to be a war game, which I think is actually problematic, because I think some people are going to just skip by it because it looks like a war game. But if you don't like war games, I think you would still like Blitzkrieg. This is a great 2-player game. It's easily one of the best 2-player games to come out this year. Easily. Is it better than Watergate? Because I think they'll be compared a lot because there's some similarities. I don't know. They're both giving me a very similar feel. This one's faster than Watergate, so maybe I'd give the edge to this one. But man, I'm glad I played both of them this year. This is the kind of game, I love this tug-of-war back and forth stuff. This is a game I think my wife, I haven't played this with her, but I think she would enjoy it because just the interesting decisions that you make back and forth. I cannot stress how much I enjoy this. Blitzkrieg, highly recommend it. Check it out. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.